So, are you like me thinking, where has this day gone? I mean, where has this year gone? The year has just flown by, and I cannot believe it is already December. Now, if you are currently in the job market, looking for a job or looking to transition or pivot, then you may be thinking what a lot of people are thinking is that, okay, we're going into December. The hiring season is ramping down. People are going on vacation. There's not going to be a lot of activity going on. Well, I want to let you in on a little HR secret, and that is December may be the very best month of the entire year for you to make a career move. Yes. And I'm going to let you know why, but it's not January, it's not in the spring when hiring may pick back up, but it is December when you'll start planting the seeds to sow in January. Okay. And I'm going to give you the playbook on how to do all of that. So, welcome to Exit to Excel. My name is Latanya. They call me LT, and I am your HR business partner insider. I'm the person who's been on both sides of the layoff table. I've laid off thousands of people over the course of my career, and I have also been laid off 4 times. So instead of jumping back into corporate the corporate foray, I'll say, I've decided to use all the information that I've learned over all these years to provide a platform and tools and services to help people in this crazy job market because the job market has absolutely changed. And so I am giving out strategies, discussing strategies, news, information so that people can know how to approach it to win at this new game. So, today is about how to turn parties, family gatherings, and events into career opportunities without, killing the vibe or feeling very awkward. Because this is prime, these venues are prime ground for networking if you know how to do it right. And it isn't about being pushy or transactional, but it is about being present. And so, again, today, that's what we're discussing. And I'm going to give you the playbook. So let's get down to it. Okay. So, as we know, the holidays are here. And so, whether you are going to office parties, friendsgivings, church events, friend gatherings, family gatherings, you're about to step into a room with people who already know you, who care about you, who want to see you be successful. And so that is why these are prime opportunities to network. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people would help you even more if they only knew how to. I know that particularly when you've been laid off, it's a very lonely place. And people may say, hey, let me know if you need anything. And either we don't respond because we don't know how to respond with how they can help us. And a lot of times they don't know where to begin. And because life be lifing, they're not going to try to figure it out. So we're going to make it very easy for both parties to be able to help one another. Now, if you are currently unemployed or in transition, I have a message especially for you because this is extremely important because not only do you deserve to walk in these places with confidence and clarity, but it's a very important time for you and we want to be able to make sure that we are, leveraging these opportunities as much as we can during this critical time of your career. But first, let's talk about the month of December and the myth around the month of December. So, the big misunderstanding or myth is that little to no hiring is happening in December. But the fact of the matter is, inside a lot of companies in December, one is budgets are finally being finalized. Leadership is determining what their Q headcount needs to be. Managers are identifying gaps in their teams. Performance issues are being evaluated. Strategic restructuring conversations are happening. And open roles are quietly being offered to referrals before they even hit a job board. So you've probably seen this where I get an email saying, "Hey, this job is open." I go out there and it says that applicants are no longer being accepted or applications are no longer being accepted. Oftentimes, larger companies do have compliance requirements requiring that a job is posted, even if they already have a candidate identified. And so a lot of times they only have to post it for maybe a day, maybe 6 hours, and that's it. So you want to be the person that's in that pipeline to be filling that job so that you're not frustrated whenever you go out there to apply for it and it's saying that applications are no longer being accepted. Now, another one I didn't list here is that look, December is a time when HR business partners and recruiters are looking forward to catching up because we don't have people emailing us or pinging us or in our inbox asking for conversations. So we are in the background using this time to be able to catch up because a lot of people are kind of, you know, MIA or, sleep at the wheel. So know that hiring decisions are often made on year-end conversations and not through applications. So think about it. You have executives who are going out to dinner gatherings. You have managers who are at holiday parties talking about their teams and what they're anticipating for the next year. And because it is a downtime, it's a slower times, leaders have headspace to really think about the things they want to accomplish in the new year and what talent they're going to need. And these are the times at these dinner parties, at these gatherings, in these times of reflection that you want your name to be thought about or to enter into a conversation. And that is how January becomes your month. Now, let me put a pin in it right here because I want to speak directly to the people who are unemployed, laid off, or in the middle of a messy transition. Because as I've said, I've been laid off 4 times and I know exactly how it feels to have a holiday party coming up or a family gathering and you're dreading being asked, "So, found a job yet? Or how's your job search going?" I've been there, I know. So, I am going to give you a couple of responses that you can give so that, look, you do not have to hide during this season. You do not have to shrink, and you do not owe anyone your pain. So I'm going to give you 4 truths before we even get into that, okay? Because I know a lot of people still carry a lot of shame and stigma around losing their job. So the first truth is that you are not behind, you're in transition. And know that transitions are temporary. Number 2, you have every right to show up confidently, even in uncertainty. And 3, know that you do not have to explain your layoff story in detail. One simple, confident sentence is enough. And then 4, know that this season can actually help you because people are in the mood for giving. So they are more open, they're more generous, and they are more available to support you. And so that's what we want to be able to leverage. And I'm going to show you how to do so and give you the exact words to say. So for people who are recently laid off or unemployed, if someone asks you, "Hey, so what are you up to these days?" I'm gonna give you four options you can respond with, depending on the mood you're in, depending on the relationship and the person who's asking you. Option A is the confident and strategic response. And it is, hey, I'm in transition right now and exploring opportunities that align more with my strengths. And it's actually been a great reset. If you want to be short and neutral, hey, I wrapped up my last role recently, so I'm using this time to be intentional about my next step. If you want to be warm and upbeat, I'm in between roles right now. And honestly, I'm excited about this next chapter. And then if you want to open the door for support, if you want to follow it up, any of the responses previously, and you want to follow it up with a gentle ask for support, you can say, hey, since I'm in transition, I'm focusing on roles where I can bring value in X. If you ever hear of anything in that space, would you mind sending it my way? Look, people love it when you can tell them specifically how to help you. As I said before, life be lifing, and people have enough on their plate trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to eat? What am I going to, put on today? What am I going to watch on TV? When am I going to take the car in to get it serviced? When am I going to get kids to their doctor's appointments? Our days are filled up with having to make decisions. So when you are able to outline something very clearly, people appreciate that and they are more likely to follow up. So remember that. Now, if someone asks you, oh, you're not working, what happened? You don't have to trauma dump. And I advise that you don't, especially depending on where you are and the venue. And then here's a statement you can respond with. Say, hey, it wasn't performance related. My company was restructuring. While it's been a tough time, it's also been very clarifying. And I'm using this season to pivot towards roles that fit better. So, see, very professional, boundaried, and confident. Now, if you want to redirect the conversation, here's a statement that you can use to do that. Hey, you know what? I'm really using this time to enjoy the holidays, enjoy my families and friends. So, hey, let's connect and talk about this in January. And, we can discuss more then. Trust me, people get the idea and they will allow you to change the conversation. And it's a way to be able to do that in a very respectful, courteous manner. So just know that, the holiday season is not for begging, but it is about being visible and being memorable when you are in rooms filled with people who know you and care about you and who actually want to advocate for you when given the chance. And so we've outlined exactly how you are able to give them that chance. Now let's talk about, you know, where the holiday networking really takes place because it's not in conference rooms. And I want you to think about this as you are looking at your social calendar, as your spouse is dragging you to different events or whatever. These are prime opportunities for networking. They're at your office parties or your spouse's office parties, at family gatherings, at Friendsgiving, church or community events, kids' school performances, volunteer events, New Year's Eve parties, alumni events, neighborhood gatherings, and even group chats lighting up with, hey, let's get together for drinks before the year ends. Each of these, activities offers an opportunity, a warm door for you to walk through in networking. But let's talk about now how you can network without killing the vibe and without being awkward. Now, if you're at a holiday event networking, the key is to keep it light, okay? You want to keep it light, do a soft career mention if the opportunity presents itself, and then present an invitation to connect later, like in January. So it goes something like this. Step one is start with the season, right? Asking people, hey, what's been the highlight of your year? or mentioning a fab sweater they have on, or asking them if they're ready for the holidays. Note that people enjoy talking about themselves, and they tend to be more engaged when the person they're speaking with takes interest in things about them. So that's why it is very good to open up the conversation, asking the person something about themselves and not necessarily job related. So that's why we want to start with step one, start with the season. Step two is the soft pivot. You can then say, well, I've been doing a lot of reflecting on my career this year, or I'm exploring some new opportunities for this year. And then stop right there. Because what that is going to do is going to prompt them to ask you a question more about this reflection or these new opportunities. Because people are naturally curious, and it gives a chance for the conversation to breathe and naturally evolve. So you want to give them an opportunity to ask the next question. Now, when they do, you have to be ready. You want to share a crisp and clear value statement. So, for this statement right here, I want you to either write it down, take a screenshot, or take your camera and take a picture of it. I want you to write it down. I want you to complete it, and I want you to memorize it so that as you're going to these holiday parties and you're using this framework, you have a very crisp, prepared, succinct response ready. So the statement is, I help companies improve X by X, and I'm looking for teams that value Y. And you're going to fill in whatever your X and Y's are there. So again, very crisp, very short, very clear. But it allows a person to get a sense of what you do and how you do it and what you're looking for. And that sets the stage for further conversations about your job search. So again, write that sentence down, take a screenshot, fill it in, memorize it, and be ready to use it at your next gathering. And you can thank me later. Now, the next part after that is the close and the invitation to connect later on. So once you do that, you can say, hey, would you be open to connecting on LinkedIn or possibly getting together at the first of the year for a quick coffee? And then go from there. So again, you're not spending all this time at the holiday party just talking about your job search. It's not a dry bag, so to speak, about connecting with someone or for a job, but it is simply making the connection to have further conversation later on. Again, planting the seeds to sow in January. Now I am going to outline for you what not to do. And people make these mistakes all the time. And that's why networking has gotten such a bad rap. So these are things you do not want to do. One is, don't ask for a job directly, because very few people are in a position to be able to give you a job directly. So don't even go there. Two, don't overshare. Don't go on and on about how the company did you wrong and how a dedicated employee you were. Don't do that. Don't be the Debbie Downer or the Donnie Downer at the holiday gathering. People are there to be jovial. People are there to celebrate. And you are absolutely going to be a drag if you get into all of that. So do not overshare. Three, don't corner people. Keep it very short, and you want to mingle. I remember a girlfriend of mine, she used to tell me, Latanya, you spend, and this wasn't even at networking events, this was just at larger gatherings. You spend way too much time with the same person. You need to talk and move, talk and move. That's how you're able to make as many connections as you can. It's the same thing with networking, right? So don't corner people, don't spend too much time. Have the light conversation, mention about connecting later on, and then move on. But don't corner people. Next, do not pitch yourself like a sales call. People can read right through that, and it gets to be very annoying. So don't come off like a salesperson or like you are doing an official pitch. Another do not lead with desperation. we're not desperate, right? We are leading with confidence and clarity. People who are confident are not desperate. So don't come off as being desperate. And then finally, do not get sloppy and overshoot your shot. So, what I mean by that is I've seen some people just be so cavalier and so overly confident that it comes off as being arrogant, and you end up having the reverse effect of this activity in terms of trying to create connections. You actually turn people off to the point where they kind of avoid you. So don't get sloppy and don't overshoot your shot. Okay. Just remember that this season is about connecting and not about pressure. Now, once you have made all these connections, the butter in the sauce is the follow up. So around January the 7th, now, if you'll look, Monday, January the 5th is the first Monday of the year. And that is the day that most people are getting back to work. I kind of like to leave people be the first day or two of the year because they're, focused on getting their ducks in a row and that kind of thing. So I like to reach out about midweek once they've had a chance to kind of get their bearings. So around January the 7th, you will want to send a warm message, reference the conversation that you had in December, suggest a quick 15-minute chat via phone or video. Better yet, if you can connect in person over coffee, even better. Share your goals in that message very clearly, and then keep it very light and low pressure. So again, you planted the seeds in December, and now in January is when you are sowing and watering and expecting, payoffs. Now, whenever I talk to people about networking, particularly if they are unemployed and especially if they've been in the market for a period of time, the last thing people want to do is network. And the last thing they want to do is go to holiday parties where they're going to have to talk about it. So, look, up until now, if you have been doing transitional networking, you can be burnt out. You can feel like it's ineffective and you can feel very awkward. But if you're able to use this holiday season to do more types of human networking, then the more you do it, the more natural it becomes, right? So it's almost like running. If you haven't been running and you start out, you're using muscles that you're not accustomed to using. But the more you use them, the easier it becomes, the more natural it becomes. And networking is no different. And I would say that the holiday season is the best kind of practice ground to get accustomed to using those muscles. Now, some people say, but Latanya, LT, I really don't even know what I want to do yet. So how can I have these networking conversations? I say, hey, very easily, just tell people, I've been using this time to explore what's next, but I'm focusing on roles where I can do X that have Z impact. Then again, you're able to give people some kind of framework or reference in terms of what you are looking to do. So, look, as we go into this holiday season, I don't want you feeling insecure. I don't want you feeling less confident. I don't want you feeling small. Not this year, because you have already survived. You are already rebuilding. So just know that holiday gatherings are not auditions. You are being surrounded by people who care about you, who want you to succeed. So these are warm rooms, they are soft landings, and they are opportunities for you to get really connected, have real, genuine connections. So show up, be present, be open, and plant the seed because the opportunities of January are absolutely starting with the conversations in December. So know that you have this, and I'm right here to walk every step with you. So see you next time on Exit to Excel.